So welcome to the party. This is the last of the trilogy that I came with. Someone actually said that. Um, Someone wrote me and said that the way that this speaker communicates is it it speaks in concept to expose a concept. It speaks in analogy to expose that everything is really an analogy, meaning that it's really unknown. We started with the concept of the show, that there's no one that's running the show. Although some characters think that the show is about them, or they can get out of the show, or figure out the show. And then we talked earlier, and we talked about the circus. The circus is in town, and that the character thinks it's the ringleader, that it can control everything, but it doesn't really have any control. We talked about well, none of us talked, but apparently it's been expressed that um, what seems to be going on is not really going on, but it's apparently going on for someone that's not really going on. It's a story about a story of someone that thinks it's the whole story, that can figure out the story by pointing out that it's a story. So let's go into story mode. So I think I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell you the apparent full length of the story. So a friend of mine contacted me that I've not seen in many, many years, maybe a decade or so. I was just really wondering what um, what seems to be going on, and was just really curious. So this friend I've known for 30 years or so, for a long, long time. We have a good friendship, meaning that he believes everything that I say, and he doesn't have any reason to not believe it. So when asked, please tell me what's going on, what's been happening. So I said this really incredible story that there's no one here, there's never been anyone here, and of course he was completely shocked with it. Listened to it, completely listened to it. He goes, "What do you mean that there's no one here?" And I said, "Remember that party that we went to?" And I said, well, he's like, "Which one?" And I'm like, "The one where you blacked out." And he goes, "Oh, and you didn't think that I blacked out?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, that one. Remember, we left the party at 11 o'clock and we went to an after party. You blacked out. And then the next morning you called me and said, how did I get home?" And I said, "You blacked out?" And then he said, "I guess so." I said, "Well, we went to an after party. You know, you drove me home and then you got home. And then you called me." And then he went to the washroom and threw up and came back. This is in present time. And he said, "There's no one here. There's never been anyone here. This is a blackout." So this is like a party. Everyone seems to be at the different stages of the party, but there is no one that threw the party. There are no party goers, but seemingly there's party poopers, there's party crashers, there's someone that wants to get out. I want to leave this party. Someone that wants to get into the party. Some party animals. Some blacked out. But in this party that no one has ever been invited to, the party is just infinitely partying by itself. But there's never been anyone here. So when my friend said that, is everyone blacked out and they just don't know it? Does anyone know that they don't have any free will or choice? That this party is actually an illusion? That it's not really happening? Nothing's happening? And I'm like, kinda. That's kind of like a cool analogy. And he goes, "You're blacked out and I'm blacked out. Everyone's blacked out. So it's nothing appearing as aliveness, seemingly dancing, crying, laughing, Of course, this is just a story. It's just being expressed here that when this is seen, meaning everything turns black, that everything that seems to be real dies. It dissolves. All the belief system dissolves. All the ideas dissolve. It's like an unraveling, an unknowing of something that's just a story. Something that doesn't have any reality to it. But it does feel real. It does feel that it's happening, but it's nothing really happening. So it's like an intoxication of the me. Intoxication of the story. Drunkenness on spirituality. Catching the next high of spirituality. Looking for that ultimate high, which are glimpses of something that's not really happening. So in this unhappening happening that simultaneously appears, there are seeming characters that thinks that it's happening to them. There seems to be an awareness. There seems to be an idea of consciousness. There seems to be an idea of I am. I am the party. But it's just a party. We can't even really call it a party. I'm just making fun of the idea or the story that when you black out, after you've had too many drinks, after so much seeking, there's a glimpse that nothing is happening. That everything is just moving all on its own. So all at once, everything is happening, but nothing really is going on. All at once, everything seems to be traveling from time. There seems to be a person going through time and space, but all at once, it's also not happening. All at once, there seems to be something that makes decisions, or thinks it has choices, or thinks it can liberate itself, but all at once, it's all blackness. It's all blacked out. It's a fun party. When it's seen, it's just a party. When there's no, what do you call it, identification of what's going on. Seemingly what's happening is that everything seems to be happening that's not really happening. Everything seems to be felt. It's not really true. Everything that seems to be seen is also not there. But it appears that it's there. So how do you get out of this party? How do you get out of the show? How do you get out of the circus? You can't. Because there's no you. Since there's never been anyone, there's never been any choice, there's no doer, there's no time, there's really no happening. This is just stillness appearing as movements. No one threw the party, no one is running the show, and it's all just a circus. Seemingly believing that it's all really happening. But this is not to make you unbelieve, because another not belief is just another belief that has gone underground. This is not about not having any desires, because having no desires is still another desire. So this is infinity, infinitely expressing itself infinitely. It appears as whatever. It's random. It's chaotic. It's anarchy. And so what? Because if you're not there, it's just what's going on and also not going on. So in this scene, so going back to this story with my friend, we were laughing so hard because it's so unbelievable that there's never been anyone here. It's so unreal that everything that seems to be happening is really not happening. And it's just this really flimsy veil called a belief that something's going on. It's this sticky veil that once it's seen over and over and over again, or even seen once that it's really transparently not really there, because there's a lot of hints at it. There's a hint that when the person goes to sleep, deep sleep, there's no me. When the person blacks out at a party, there's no one there. It's just all moving by itself. When the person sleepwalk, there's no one there. It's just sleepwalking. So isn't this just sleepwalking? Again, that's just another idea. So all of these ideas are not true. Everything that I'm saying is a story because I'm telling it to stories. So this is a story trying to, well, not really trying, telling a story to expose the story that is apparently listening to this. Is no different from any other stories. Since this is non-duality, one story is not more legit than the other. All stories are fictional. What is the true nature of reality? Is it void? Again, that's just another idea. There's no true nature. There's even no reality. And void is just another idea. As I said, everything that the story comes up with is just another story. What's being expressed here is the immediacy, the all at once happening that's not really happening. It's a mystery. Even calling it a mystery is another story. Everything is empty and full. Everything is nothing. Nothing is everything. Empty is full. So you can't, or no one can figure that out because it defies logic. It cannot be understood. But there seems to be a resonance that appears in what's being talked about, and it's empty. The resonance is empty, meaning it doesn't have any meaning. It doesn't have any purpose. But there's this emptiness, peacefulness, stillness. The resonance is the seeing that what's being talked about is all empty. Everything that you're thinking about is all empty. The one that's thinking, the thinking about, is also empty. So it's empty, 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 empty. There's never been anything. And there's no one that knows this because the one that is speaking about this is also empty. So if it's all empty, why not enjoy the party? It's all empty anyway. Or not. That's completely all right too. We'll jump into questions if you guys have any questions. I think that's pretty cool. Carol. Oh, I can't hear you.
Forgot about that. So the felt sense of in lovingness
In loveness,
is
yeah.
in loveness. I mean, so is
There's just another idea.
just another idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's
Okay.
personalized, right? So there's no
Yeah.
in or out of love. There's
Okay.
no there's no such thing as a personal love.
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah,
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
because love doesn't really have a beginning or an end. It's
Yes.
unconditional.
And yes. Okay. It's not. Oh yeah. Okay. I
Yeah.
see. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Someone said the me is a party pooper. That's just another idea as well. Oops. Cheers. Are you drinking wine there? No. Okay. There's a question from Dennis. Dennis,
Good morning.
good, good,
Um,
good day. Whereabouts are you,
uh,
Dennis?
I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay, awesome.
Beautiful weather today.
Yeah.
Anyway, my question or comment is: there's no me, there's no I, there's no we, there's no personal entities at all. There's only this. What's happening?
Mm.
That, which is simultaneously no thing and everything. So, is it fair to say that there is only that? I mean, you can use whatever word you want,
Yeah,
but
you can
that
even
or
yeah,
the mystery or whatever.
yeah, you can say that, it's not it's that ing. It's not. It's verbing, right? It's this
Yeah,
ing. Yeah, this ising
yeah.
because it doesn't end. There's no location to it, right? So to be able to pinpoint it is coming to a location. That's why this character, the speaker, flips back and forth because it can't really fully express of something that's really quite clear, quite obvious, not just here, but to everyone because there's no one. That what's being expressed here is this thing,
Mhm.
and it's in everything. So it's the headphone is empty, the voice is empty, the lampshade is nothing, everything is nothing. It appears as everything, but it's nothing.
Okay. Let me follow on with the comment about I've spoke to you one time before about the aha glimpses I
Mm-hmm.
had in my life. It 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 seems different than a blackout. Blackout is when you don't
Yeah,
know anything that was happening.
yeah.
Whereas in the glimpses, I guess you could say I'm blacked out. But when I come
Let's
back,
let's call it the opposite of blackout, but the seeing that there's no one there, meaning that there's no one moving anymore, but there is the seeing that it's blacked out.
that explains it because I there
Yeah.
was definitely a seeing of it.
Yeah, there's a seeing. It's not separate now from the nothing and everything apparently happening at the same time. It's seeing it through. So there's the veil that there is a separation. So when that veil is pierced by this seeing, even split second, it doesn't really happen in time. Then everything seems to be blacked out. Everything seems to be moving by itself. So there's this heightened seeing that nothing is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the me comes back and tries to claim it and creates a story
It
about
did.
it. Yeah.
In some ways, it's the worst thing that ever happened in my life because I've been
That's
chasing
what I
after it
said
ever since.
last meeting is
Yeah,
that, when there is a glimpse, it's almost like a suffering.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a suffering.
But they keep happening too. That's the problem. They don't just go away. They keep
It's the
happening every
glimpse
once
is
in a
like
while.
it's like that quintessential carrot, that is hanging. I want to get that. I want to get that. And the glimpse keeps on giving that carrot at the end of the stick that
Yeah.
that wants to be achieved over and over again. So, but what's being um, longed for is already everything. So this is the glimpse. This is timelessness.
It's just I'm perceiving it as having time because of my belief in myself, right?
So the story just created a story to block the obvious.
So how about deep sleep? When I'm in deep sleep, I do not wake up out of it and say there was a seeing of deep sleep
That's what
like
I'm
I
saying
did in
when
the ahas.
again there's nothing outside of this, right? So it's trying to dispel all of these stories because before the me gets stuck into the deep sleep, it's it's just another story. But what's being expressed there simultaneously, what's happening is blackout and aliveness happening at the same time. Deep sleep, which is blackout, and then body still there, but really this all of it is nothing. It's just trying to peel all of these stories to expose that really it's nothing. And that's what's obvious, that this is nothing.
So I think I'll
Unbelievable.
give up the search.
Well, you can't give up, or you cannot, there's no you giving up or not giving up anyway.
Some of the speakers talk about reaching a point of exhaustion or frustration with the me, and it just sort of relinquishes its efforts. What are your thoughts on that?
That's just another story, right? As I said, my friend that I was talking to, he has not heard about non-duality. We were just drinking a couple of pints. We have not seen each other for 10 years. We went to the same Catholic high school together. And then when he was really curious in what was being said, I told him a story about non-duality, that there's no one here, there's nothing happening. And then I reminded him the story of when he blacked out. And since that story dispelled the story that I am real, there's this seeing now. So there's this clarity now from that apparent friend that what's being talked about is really obvious. He's like, it's so obvious. I don't know why I didn't see that before. And I don't know why I did not notice that there's no one here, that everything's just happening. So there was no cause and effect, really. There was no seeking there. There was no suffering. It's just really meeting an old friend and just really curious. There was an openness to what was
Which
being spoken
obviously I
about.
don't have.
There's no you to have an openness or not an openness. It's all open because it's nothing.
Welcome to nothingness. Thank you, Emerson. Good job.
Thank you. I have a question here from Flying Donkey, and I'll get to you, Brian. There is no difference between a human being and a donkey being. Both are expressions of nothingness. Actually, they're not real. Now, right? Yeah. So they're both really nothing. Um, there's no donkey. They're just really names. Um, hey, Brian, where are you?
Oh, can you hear
Oh,
me?
yes. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Emerson. I feel like conceptually, it's not that hard to understand that there's no time, but
Yeah.
there's a very real sense of cause and effect, and
Yes.
it seems very logical that the location of matter in one moment
Mm.
dictates its location in the next. And I believe I'm wrong about those things, but they feel super real.
Yeah, of course, of course. So this is the dream, or this is the illusion of reality. This is the illusion of cause and effect. If I don't eat breakfast, I'll be hungry by noon. If I throw a ball, it will hit a wall. But really, since it's a really clever kind of like illusion, because everything that you're seeing is actually nothing. It's all emptiness. So there's really no time. This is all timelessness. It appears segmented by the veil of separation. The veil of separation is the veil of reality, what seems to be real. So if I cut my finger, I will have to, put a bandage on it. But everything is automatically appearing. So there's this illusion that time appears from here to here, that there's a cause and effect. But once it's seen that time actually is non-existent, everything is exploding and imploding at the same time, meaning that the illusory me can never capture it because it's the time illusion. It's the timekeeper. So it's quite tricky. So the timekeeper and the time are both illusory, but the timekeeper cannot see that because it's actually the illusion itself.
Is it part of the sense of knowing a world?
Yes. The sense of knowing, feeling, touching, solidity, all that kind of stuff, right?
Oh.
The friend that I was talking about that keeps on sending me books about, oh, Emerson, there's this book now that there is no self, no time, no consciousness, no free will. It's a guy by the name of Paul Singh, because he's still baffled by all of this. It's unknowable. And he's like, what? How could this be possible? So that my friend has this seeing now that everything is black or everything is nothing. But He sometimes, sits in the garden and just watches the trees and goes, "This is impossible. There's no tree." It's all coming as a knower. So the knower and the knowing, the seer and the seeing is all illusory. So what it knows, what it feels, what it touches is all illusion. But the illusion is that everything that it touches, feels, sees is real. So let me flip that back again. So everything that is being seen is really emptiness. Everything that's being felt is emptiness. Everything that's being noticed is emptiness. Everything that's doubted is emptiness. Everything that is ever tasted is emptiness. So this is non-duality. There's this exposure that there's nothing separate. But there's the illusion or the play that there's this separateness being perceived by the player. But there's no player. It sees through that lens that there is time because it's the timekeeper, it's the illusion itself. But the illusion is not real, that's why it's called an illusion. But the illusion is that it feels real. So there's this narrative that I am moving through time and space, that there's a cause and effect. But when in actuality, everything is appearing automatically, simultaneously, all at once. So past, present, and future is this. When it's actually seen, it's just really infinity. There's no segmentation. There's no past, present, or future. So nothing really moves. No time ticks. It's unbelievable, but the one that believes it is the illusion. So it can never dispel its belief. It can only see that it's just a belief system.
And that's the one asking this question.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, there's no one there really.
Yeah.
Is fear, I'll get to you, Nancy. Is fear, thank you, Flying Donkey, for these questions. Is fear self-created or is it predetermined? There's actually no creation happening. There's no predetermination happening. As I expressed earlier, there's really no time. So this is just all timelessness. There's an illusion that there is a self that creates fear, but it's an illusion on top of an illusion on top of an illusion. Kind of like, when the flat earth theory, where is the flat earth sitting? And the lady goes, of course it's on a giant turtle. What's on the what's below the giant turtle is giant turtles all the way down. It's an illusion all the way. Nancy. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Emerson.
Hello.
Hi. I have had a question, but you've already really been answering it, but in a very profound manner. But I'll ask it anyway and see what you say.
No
because
problem.
there seems to be experience here. There seems to be experience happening, and I know that that's just to a me. There seems to be experience. That's what I feel your answer will be. But what is experience? What is it?
There's
My
actually
question was, what is it?
There's actually no experience, right? There's an illusion again of time, that I am moving through time and space, that I'm experiencing this, that there's a before and after. To be able to experience something, then it has to be in either time, sometimes a present, sometimes a comparison of a past and a present, or an idea of the future. When you take time out of the equation, is there really experience? Or is it all just immediate?
It's just immediate.
Yeah. This is timelessness.
And when you talk about it's just black, there's nothing, it's just black.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of like deep sleep is what's being trying to pointed out. It's like deep sleep.
Emerson, that is so, oh God, that's so, how can I say this? It's so deep and profound and so devastating at the same
It
time.
is. It is. It's death. It's death. So in that darkness, in that blackness, in the nothingness, because people seem to romanticize what nothing is. That's why I use something like blackout, blackness, darkness, endness. There's no end really, but all of those are avoided. But it's actually what the seeker is looking for.
Is the nothingness, the
It's the
blackness.
nothingness. Yeah, it's its own absence.
And I've seen this nothingness,
Yeah,
or seemingly seen
yeah.
it. But it's, I don't know, Emerson.
That's well, the reason I can like started this with party. I invited actually my friend to join me, but he got he got shy. We wanted to talk about, so what was seen was, after I was talking about, blackout, he saw blackness, emptiness completely. Everything disappeared.
Yes.
And that's why he
Yeah.
went to the ran to the washroom and puked and then threw up. And he goes, "It's all empty. There's nothing here. There's no one here."
Yeah.
Now that there's clarity seeming coming from here, from this character, my friend, um, it's just this seeing that it's just really all at once. There's no
Yeah.
present, there's no past, there's no future. It's all at once. Ideas about the past, ideas about the present are all ideas. So that's why when someone says, the the power of now is just another idea. There's really no now. If this is timelessness, then you've just cornered timelessness and made it into now.
So now this question is circling back around, even though you've already answered it.
No worries. I don't really answer anything, but let's try.
Yeah, well, yeah. But so if everything is happening just in the moment, flashes in the moment, that's
There's no
still not, there's, or yeah, there's no moment, right?
Yeah.
But it still seems like, this is the stubbornness here.
Yeah.
The stubbornness of the mind.
Yeah.
There still seems like there's experience in that momentary, even though there's no moment, flash.
Yeah. Let me just suggest something. Rather than experience, it's a seeing.
Seeing, yeah.
Yeah, all at once. Seeing. But the seeing doesn't have a seer. There's nothing behind those seeing. It's just a seeing. It's allness. It's wholeness. So there's no subject and object.
Just the verb seeing.
Yeah, seeing. This is just seeing. It almost destroys any kind of pre-thought or thought about it, that who's seeing this. It's just seeing. It's just really simple. It's just wholeness, seeing. But before you even add the word wholeness, there's seemingly kind of like a separate thingness, but there's no separation. So I like the word seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's seeing, kind of like when the apparent individual character is seeing it from here to here. When it's seeing without the interpretation of what's really happening, then the narrative of time, the illusion of time disappears. And there's just this immediacy of everything, the directness of everything. So there's no one here. It's just really stillness moving. Stillness moving. Silence sounding. It's really simple. It's really ordinary too. This is nothing special at all. There's no special seeing, it's just seeing.
And I've also heard this described as I know I should probably just sit with what you just said, but I'm going to ask you one more question.
No worries.
It's also been described as energy. this has been described sort of like a kind of energy or
Yeah,
or
I
just
don't really like
energy.
using that word. It's okay. It's all right. There's nothing. Seeing is a word. Energy is a word, but there's seemingly a personalization or an idea of separation of what boundless energy is. It's imagined. There's this, boundless energy, contracted energy. It's all right. There's nothing wrong or right about that. It's just uh, the communicator here is just simplifying it as just seeing that
So yeah,
it's
yeah,
nothing separate, right? Because the moment that you talk about energy, then they're like, well, I don't have that energy. The me inserts itself either in ownership or separation.
yeah.
Both are untrue. There's no
So it's
owner
just
and
a
there's no separateness.
so it's
There,
just a like every like language is
yeah,
so misleading,
it
but
is. Yeah,
it's in fact language is dual,
it
but
is. Yeah,
yeah, but there's it's just a way to describe like you know how Tony says when you're a child in this contracted
yeah.
energy, it's just a way to try to convey a message to those who
Yeah, see, the
are
problem with
still
that one is I love Tony very much, and the
yeah
problem with that one is when every single word that Tony has said is being parroted and being repeated over and over
yeah
again, that it
yeah
becomes a knowing, it becomes a
yeah
wisdom. Um, when so this character is destroying those words to expose that they're just words. Nothing wrong or right about that, but
yeah
it almost becomes kind of like a greatest hits that other speakers would say. So it
it
becomes
it
really redundant and it becomes kind of like almost like a knowing.
it does. I mean, the mind just wants to take every that's why language
Yeah,
is so dual. I mean, I know it's necessary, of course, but
yeah.
in ways, but it's so dual and it's
It
so
is. It is.
taken so literally and taken so
Yeah,
seriously. And I
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's really hard to get around that.
Yeah, there's no
It
agenda here, but the seeming character here, when it communicates, it's heard all of those words. So
uh-huh.
it uses other words to disrupt those words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
No
that's
intention
it,
whatsoever, but it's just there's seemingly a rebel character here that uses word like party, show, and circus, although they're just words. Um,
I've
rather
always
than
been a
using
rebel
the
too, so I can
rather than
understand.
using the true and tried unconditional love and unconditional freedom, right? Because there's a romanticized, I see people's faces sometimes when please talk about unconditional love, and they're like waiting for this, you know,
Yeah.
transmission or something. Um, those are just words. I can just say unconditional wow or the unlimited party. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you
yeah.
could probably talk about
That's why
insurance and it would be the same
it
thing.
would be the same thing. That's why I use words like, blackness and darkness and death. It it
Yeah.
uh it it it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I can also say pink fluffy clouds the whole time, like your clouds there, and it'll be the same thing.
That's true.
Yeah,
But yeah, the when you talk about it being dark or black, it's just like uh wow, that just really hits you in the gut, you know?
it does, right? Because that's what's avoided,
Yeah.
but that's also what's longed for.
Yeah. And the body is so, feels that. The
Oh
body
yeah,
just
yeah,
feels it.
yeah. Yeah, there's this longing for something that is already appearing as everything, meaning that everything
Yeah.
is blank, but it wants to see it as full.
Yeah.
It wants to
Wow.
see it as everything when it's actually nothing. So there's a preference with everything, meaning all of the ideas and all of the illusion, then a disregard for what's appearing simultaneously with it.
And then there seems to be this, then it seems like all this, let's call it the bling of life, the the glitz and the glitter of life. It's just like it's just seen as a miracle that it can happen.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
that all these things appear. It's just so miraculous.
It is. It is. And all that there is this. So there's nothing outside of this. So when people talk about, something experiences, it connotes something that happens outside of this. So this is timelessness appearing right
Yes.
now simultaneously with time. This is the infinity appearing as a fragmented seeing of something that cannot be separated. This is the locationless paradise that cannot be personalized because everything is appearing and not here as well. It's infinity and darkness. The same thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Emerson.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Oh, thank you. All right. Brian.
Sorry, I left my hand up.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I don't know why I keep on getting asked this question. Emerson, are you an alien? No, that's just another idea. There's no one here. What's actually being expressed is actually naturalness. It's not something really alien. The thing that's alien is the idea that there is a me moving through time and space when it keeps on getting proven over and over again that there's no time and space. The alien idea is that it will get something when it is not there. The alien idea is that it can change things, it can understand things. That's not really there. Flying Donkey asks, what's the difference between all of us? There's actually no us. There's no us. If there's no one here, there's no others. Now, Brian has a question. Hey, Brian.
Hey, can you talk a little bit about no space? Is that something that can be spoken about?
Um, that's just another idea, right? It's just trying to imagine what no space is.
Okay.
So everything that you
Yeah.
can think of, everything that you can, there's nothing wrong or right about that. It's the story, but also it's actually really emptiness too. That's infinity appearing as ideas about emptiness or space, no space. So nothing is excluded. Everything that you could muster, think, feel, taste, see is emptiness. So all of these questions are actually emptiness, infinity. Trying to figure out what's really obvious, that is also the question and the questioner.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the illusion and the emptiness appearing simultaneously. Nothing special though.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Emerson. I keep on having glimpses in your meeting. When are you going to give me the final? There's no final. Again, the glimpses are, once you think it's a glimpse, then it's just an idea that did not really happen. The actual glimpse is you. You are the glimpse because there's no you. A glimpse is this seeing that it's not there, but the one that's seeing there, that is also not there. So when you add it both together, well, I had this glimpse that there was emptiness. Who saw that? No one. Emptiness recognizes its emptiness in a glimpse. And then the apparent illusion that's appearing simultaneously with emptiness claims that in time. So this is timelessness and time appearing simultaneously. There's a belief that time happens. So a glimpse happens when there are really no glimpses. It's almost the opposite. The one that's temporary, the one that glitches, let's just glimpses, glitches, the one that glitched is the belief that there's a me. Did you hear that, Dennis? I'm not talking to you though. I'm just pointing out that there's no Dennis. It's a glitch. Could there be infinite unknown realities and universes? I don't know really, but that's just another idea. So anything that you come up with is the story. So infinite unknown realities and universes is just another story. It's just another word. There's no such thing as a universe. There's no world. There's no earth. Because all of this that is being expressed are just words coming from the main illusion, the you that thinks all of this. Again, this is infinity simultaneously appearing as a knower. What is the point? There's no point. And that's what liberation is. When it's pointless, when it's meaningless, when it's hopeless, when it's completely purposeless, then it's seen that all of these ideas of purpose, meaning, point, are just ideas. Oh, sure. Someone asked if I could use that in a dream analogy. Sure, I keep on using. Again, these analogies or these stories or concepts is just a concept. They're not, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying anything at all. So in the night dream analogy, when you're dreaming at night, everything that happens, everything that appears, everything that seems to be happening, the moment that there is a split second of awakeness, meaning when you wake up, there's no you that wakes up and sleep. Everything that is seen, heard, felt, that really feels real, in an instant, is seen as unreal. There might be feelings about that, that kind of like, oh, I need to get a water or something. Someone had a bad dream, or you're smiling because it was a happy dream. But even though you're smiling or you were fearful, it's seen that none of it happened. So this is continuous. This is infinity, right? So meaning that there is no time. So how do you know that this is not still a dream? This is still a dream, like a dream. It's a dream of infinity appearing in segments. Yesterday I drank coffee, and then today I skipped coffee. No one drank coffee. Is reincarnation true? No, because there's no one to reincarnate. And there's no time. There's no before or after. It's like a cop-out. I'm not doing well, but maybe in my next incarnation I'll be the Buddha. No. There's no past, present, or future. That's what's just really obvious here. So reincarnation or karma or dharma are just words. Can we reincarnate into animals? There are actually no animals too. When I say emptiness, I mean emptiness. Everything seemingly appears in emptiness, including ideas about animals, ideas about a body, but in this emptiness, in this illusion, everything feels so fucking real. But that's the illusion. That's the greatest trick, because everything that you're looking for is appearing as everything, meaning you've been looking for emptiness. The reason that you're here is you're looking for liberation, emptiness, surrender, enlightenment, awakening, or whatever. It's already this. It's already this. What's being meant by this is that this is all emptiness. The skin, the smiling, the confusion, emptiness. The looking, the not looking, all empty. The talking, the listening, emptiness. There's no separation in emptiness. If it's empty here, it's also empty there. um, there's no Buddha from Anita? No. No. There's no time. There's no one here. There's no bigger no me. There's no enlightened no me. If what I mean by that there's no one here, there's never been anyone here, meaning that there's no time and space, no one in history. All the historical figures, all the Buddhas, all the Christ, all the Messiahs, all the sinners, everything has never existed. It's all just an appearance. All of this is just appearing as this. What is looking? This. This is just a seeing. No one is looking. There's no one behind those eyes. It's just seeing. It's just trying to simplify here what's quite obvious. It's just this is all seeing. No one is seeing. No what is seeing. It's just seeing. It's hard to understand. You can call it a mystery. You can call it unconditionality. It's just seeing. It's just wholeness. There's no who, what, where. There's no location. It's just seeing. No one is seeing through. It's just seeing. It's hard to understand because, for to be able to logically make sense of this, there must be a seer, must be an awareness. That's why there is a big confusion of I am awareness or I am consciousness. The me that's not really there goes into underground and think that it's everything. It becomes another narrative, but a grand narrative now that I am God. I am a soul. I am a being. There's no such thing. It can never be understood is because this is emptiness. So when it's meaning that emptiness, there's an illusion of seeing, but it's actually really blindness. Nothing sees anything. It's just blindness. So the seeing is the seeing through the illusion that everything is not really happening. I know it's confusing. I don't even know who's seeing through this because there's no who. So anything that you can think about who, what, where, when, why are just ideas. There's no who, there's no what, there's no where, there's no why, there's no how. It's just this completeness, wholeness, totality. So there's no before and after, there's no cause and effect, there's no subject object. There's no one here that's aware. The question is, are you aware? No, no one is aware. The seeing here is that everything is happening and then happening all at once. There's no separation. Again, I'm going to attempt to throw off these ideas because people hold on towards like aware, hold on to consciousness. Can you be aware? No. As I'm going to repeat again, there's no one here. So who can be aware? There's no one here. There's never been anyone. There's no super being. There's no super being that can be awareness of all. No. That's just an idea. No one can try it because there's no one here. This is just a seeing. There's no doer. It's a silly idea. William.
Hi, Emerson.
Hi, William.
Yeah, I'm struggling with this communication because it's just an absolute, to me, it's the opposite of everything it kind of believes in, that everything has a purpose, everything matters, there's a reason and all this kind of stuff. And I suppose, like earlier, you mentioned about the example of someone hacking your computer and emptying your account.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, there's a reaction and a
Yeah,
response from the
I forgot
body.
about that actually, but go ahead.
Sorry to bring it up,
No, it's
but no,
okay.
it's just a question about nothing mattering. Like to me, everything feels real when it matters, and you're saying everything's empty. So I suppose someone hacking that account doesn't matter when there's no one it's
No,
happening to.
not really. Again, there's even if anger arises and say, "What the fuck?" It just appears, and also because it's just coming out automatically, it's not being held onto as a narrative. Just like what you said earlier, if that happened to you, you would have told everyone this story and everything. I haven't actually told anyone. I just kind of like, I was doing a Zoom with one, and I'm like, oh, sorry, my account just got hacked, so I took care of it. Called PayPal, and everything is being taken care of. But since it's all random, it's not personalized.
Yeah.
It's just seen as a happening. It's kind of like stepping on a dog poop. It just
The other
happens.
thing, I think the other thing as well, when there's a sense for me, is it can't rest until the issue's resolved.
I'm sorry, repeat that again.
I think the other thing as well, when there's a me, I mean, everyone could be different actually, because there's some people who are more patient and relaxed,
There's no
even
other
within.
people actually. You're just coming up with a whole bunch of ideas. You're trying to make things real that are not. But go ahead.
I know for me, I can't rest until the thing's dealt with and resolved. Do you know what I mean? So, like,
You
for
just
example, you're
created a
saying,
narrative there to make the me real by saying that I can't rest until this is resolved when there's nothing really to resolve. See, it's the catching that is just really infinite playing in segmentation of a me. It's playing in this apparent play, but it's just really playing itself. It's already this. So the one that's asking this question is the answer at the same time. Do you hear that?
yeah, when you say there's nothing to resolve, that's
Yeah. And nothing can be resolved because who's going to resolve it?
okay. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Dennis.
Hello again.
Hello.
Thinking of the blackout your friend
Yeah.
had, or the deep sleep that we all have,
Yeah.
the body keeps itself going in some fashion, keeps breathing, life continues
There's no body
without the
actually.
separate I. Huh?
There's no body actually.
Well, there's an illusion of a body, and there's an
Okay.
illusion of a waking up from it.
All right. Okay.
So here's the point for you to put down for me.
All right.
Is I know a number of
Let me try my
people
bestest.
that speak of, huh?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I know a number of folks that speak about there's a intelligence that's operating and running, I wouldn't say the universe, but the dream. The dream seems to be like a manufactured, connived up con job of the infinite to try to have fun with all those little squirts down here in fairy tale land to just laugh at us.
That's a really nice story, though. Yeah, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's kind of the story that
Yeah,
I
it's
hear from
another
many
story,
people, and
right?
I've wondered myself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
another
story. I
story.
agree.
It's another story to keep the story real, right? So for the story, for
Yeah.
example, if there is an intelligence or a separateness or something that is making this, then you just made yourself real. You just went back to sleep. You just made it into a
Yeah,
knowing.
I
Yeah,
get it.
it becomes a
In a way, I
position.
do get it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I want to understand it and know about it, and it makes me more comfortable if I think I know and understand about it.
Because that's
And the trick is to accept the fact that it's nothing but an absolute total mystery that cannot be understood, period,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, even that, even trying to land on that one is another story.
Yeah.
See, that's what's happening. It's just this circular story that keeps on going and going and going, trying to explain something that can never be really found out. But there is this um, yearning, this longing for this. So the yearning and the longing is what keeps on going. This, what's being yearned for and what's being longed for is already the one that's learning, yearning, and it's infinity, yearning its own infinity. It's infinity, yearning its own infinity. It's emptiness, attracted to its own emptiness. It's the resonance that this is all empty. So that's why it's home.
Well, it's quite a game that plays in its dream, is all I will say about it.
It's like playing hide and
Okay,
seek.
thank you, Emerson.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, it's hide and seek.
It's
That's
like
what it
playing
feels
hide and
like.
seek,
Thank you.
but the trick is that no one really hid because you can't
No
hide,
one to hide.
no one to hide. So what seems to be hidden is actually appearing as everything. So you're looking, kind of like looking for your glasses when it's on the top of your head. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's here. It's always been here.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Um, William, I'll get to you, Kane.
Yeah, you said before there's nothing to resolve because there's nothing happening.
Mm-hmm.
So is it just the me that creates the sense that there is a problem that needs to be addressed or resolved?
There's no me, actually. So everything that seems to be just appearing is just this instantaneous idea that there's a me. The illusion is so instant that you can't catch it, that it's an illusion. So it comes up within a story to support that it's real. So it just came up automatically saying that, well, is there the me? It just keeps on, it's just a self-reinforcing, self-regenerating illusion. The illusion is that it is real, so it keeps on asking questions to make it real. What's being pointed out here is that the one that's asking the question is the illusion, so anything that it asks is also an illusion.
It's
And
the
that's when
equivalent.
and that's when the relaxation is seen. When the relaxation is kind of like, oh wow. It's almost caught in its track that it keeps on coming with this illusion to hide that it's an illusion by asking question that seemingly makes it real over and over again.
So it's basically like you're saying whatever you're saying, and I think, well, if I don't get that
There's
and I
no one
don't see it,
here. There's no one here. See,
okay, well,
this.
that's what's being said.
Yeah.
What's being said is whatever's being said. And then this thinks, oh, well, I don't get that and I can't see that, so I must be a me. Otherwise, I would see it.
Yeah, there's no one that's seeing this, right? It's just seeing. So you're trying to personalize seeing by attaching someone behind the seeing. So there's an ownership of what's happening. And that's quite all right. There's no wrong or right about that. That seems to be just what's happening. There's this ownership of emptiness. Emptiness cannot be owned. That's why it's free. To try to own empty, it suffers because it can't own it. But when it sees that it's all emptiness, that there's no need to personalize it, that everything is appearing, is really all empty. Then this neurosis of getting something, getting somewhere, drops. Because this is already unlimited freedom. What you're trying to do is just keep on limiting it, because what is limiting it is also limited. It's a limited illusion. So when people say that there's an openness, it's that the seeing that all these limitations are an illusion. So all of your ideas about limitation, about freedom, or getting this or not getting this is a limit. What's being expressed here is completely unlimited. You're trying to limit freedom by making it into a personal experience. trying to
Yes.
limit, liberation by making it my liberation. You can't tag
Yeah.
liberation as William's liberation because there's no William. What's being expressed here that this is already liberated.
Thanks.
Yeah. Hi, mate. There's a different resonance with group Zooms versus a one-to-one. Um, this character here, when there's a one-to-one corners, that's why people are afraid to book one-on-ones. It it illuminates. It's kind of like an interrogation that there's no one. So probably it's just that's just another story, though. Oh, Nancy goes, is it possible? Yeah, yeah, Nancy. Nancy, I have another one though, so just message me. I have another one actually. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Just message me, Nancy. Oyvind, so every apparent step of resolving the peep is already home and nothing to resolve. Yeah, 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 it is. There's nothing to resolve. I already fixed it last night, and they're just, yeah, it's just a happening. It's no biggie really. It's no biggie. This character in the story of this character has gone through much more than that in the story anyway, meaning that this is all emptiness. Um, question here. Can you talk about awareness again? Sure, sure, sure. That seems to be the top topic that keeps on coming up on this chat box. So let me tell you a story. This is just another story. So I actually spoke to, I'm not going to name the teacher that talks about awareness all the time. And my question is, who, what is abiding in awareness means? There seems to be a dualism there. Who's aware of being aware? That's dualistic there. What is prior to awareness or prior to consciousness? That's also dualism. It doesn't see it that what's being talked about is an idea that there's a glimpse, and when the glimpse happened, perhaps for the people that talks about awareness nonstop, that there is a unconscious awareness that is aware of everything. But let me pierce through that. That's not really non-duality. That's really an idea of separation, masking as duality, as a grand non-duality. The end result seems like this non-duality, but when it's being kind of like it's like a process. How do you come be aware of being aware when there's no one there? How do you abide in awareness when there's no real or choice? It doesn't make sense. Although nothing makes sense. Or what is prior to consciousness that everybody talks about? This primordial peacefulness. There's no time. In the same breath, these teachers will talk about there's no time, there's no me, and then completely contradict it with aware of being aware, or abiding in awareness, or prior to consciousness, or this unconscious awareness, meaning there's a conscious and there's unconscious. So it's really dualistic. So what's being expressed here is that awareness is just another conceptual idea of a glimpse that this is all, but made it separate because it's kind of like when someone is sleeping at night and then you turn on the lights and then they can like wake up really really briefly and they see that oh it's all this, and then they go back to sleep and then explains it in a dream. Oh yeah, prior to awareness, it's also a dream, it's also a narrative. So the me, or the idea, or the storyteller came up with another story trying to expose that it's all a different story. There's a different story than this. It's called awareness. So what's being expressed here is total non-duality. It's being actually expressed that um, this is all, folks, and there's no you. In totality, in completeness, in wholeness. That there's nothing aware, there's no one aware, there's no separate awareness, there's no intelligence, there's no being, there's no consciousness. It's a cop out, saying, basically it's a belief in something greater than this. So being or soul or spirit has just morphed into this word called awareness. God has just become consciousness. And then the me, it's really popular, right? If I wanted to become a popular teacher, I'll talk about awareness and consciousness. I'll make tons of money. Um, it's this dream of the me to become greater than what it is not. So when the me becomes I am consciousness or I am aware of awareness, then I am God. It just got trapped into that circus of belief system, that circus of the merry-go-round of spirituality, of knowing. And then and it's backed up by this historical figures that has figured out I am consciousness and everything, but all of that historical figure is what's being expressed here is not really real. So it's a trap. It's a beautiful trap, though. It's quite brilliant. This character almost fell into that. I'm like, oh, I can't wait until I am aware of being awareness. Oh, I can't wait when I am that. When I am consciousness. I'm really God, but I don't know it yet. It's what's being said. I'm really a soul, but I'm not quite there yet. When I become aware that I am the soul itself, then I will be completely liberated. Then I'll wear loincloths and walk around with a stick. Nothing wrong or right about that, but it's all fiction. It's going to the book of knowing over and over again, thinking that I have realized now. Who realized? Okay. Hi, Anita.
Yeah, hi, Emerson.
Hi.
Um,
Hardcore.
yeah, I'm also allergic of the word consciousness and awareness. But it looks a little bit that in society, which is normal. So yeah, on my work, they want me to give some self-reflection, and that's also this dream story which I don't like. So
that word that was just said to you is emptiness. It's infinity. It doesn't really mean anything. You have no choice to accept it or not, because there's no
then
you
there is
there.
something in me. So shall I tell my boss there is nobody? Then I'm
Then that's just creating another story about a story. It's all right. It's all right. What, you don't have any choice to tell them what or not. I'm not going to tell you what to do because there's no one there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all emptiness.
It's all immediately, instantly appearing as this. None of that happened. But you see how the story is being,
then it's more
I'm
still
like
playing in a kind of a role in a circus. I'm playing a role in a circus.
But that's just another story that you're trying to come up at this apparent moment by trying to obscure that nothing is happening. Yeah.
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 It's already seen. How silly.
Yes. Thank you, Emerson. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anita. Chris.
Hi, Emerson.
Oh, hi. How are you doing, Chris? Sorry about the email. I'm glad that you caught the next one.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for hosting these for free. I mean,
yeah, of course.
I've had a lot of anger towards money, and I know it's a story, and it's just, I just want to be myself and like live naturally and not have to like play this game of money, but I must like to play this game of money because I'm here. Ugh. Yeah, I don't really necessarily know what to talk about or anything. But yeah, just like, yeah, maybe gonna get evicted from my place if
Oh
I don't.
no.
It's so dramatic.
Maybe talk about awareness and just joking.
Yeah, that's the golden ticket. Yeah, so
Yeah, call me up though. Call me up. If you want to talk about stories, you know what I'm
thank
saying?
you.
I'm not rich,
Yeah,
so I can't help you. But
yeah.
but if you just want an ear to hear a story and just go into story mode, that's cool.
Where do you find your number?
It's in my emails, all my emails.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. All right. All right, Chris. There's a question here from Brian Maxwell. Oh, Brian. Hi, Brian. The teacher even refers to the knowing of awareness. He's teaching the abiding in knowing. And that's what we're all already doing. It was very attractive for a while. Yeah, you know what? That is quite attractive, the knowing and the understanding that especially that this is coming from a knower, a lineage or a source or a holy being or um, God. So knowing awareness basically is just a word. It's almost kind of like I am aware. It's also basically announcing that I am enlightened. I am awakened. I am special. So the me, rather than seeing that this is all awake, this is all enlightened, this is all illuminated, this is all emptiness, it goes into this rogue mode and it becomes this special. I am aware. And really speaks very slowly and very seriously. There's nothing wrong or right about that. It's just a play. William.
It's just really frustrating that you don't acknowledge that there's a me. And I know that's the whole heart of this communication. So I'm not asking you to acknowledge it, but it just
I wish I could. Then I would be lying.
Like when I touch on the me this, or I say other people that, and you're like, oh, there aren't any other people, and there isn't anyone there.
Yeah.
It just feels like, don't you see that there's a me and we need to get rid of it?
I don't see a me. See, a me is a word. Do you see a word? Do you see an idea? Do you see a concept? So what are you talking about?
Well, it feels like there's an agitation.
Can you see a feel?
I sense the feeling of the me. I want to get rid of it because it's causing so many apparent problems that feel like real problems. And I think that in order to get rid of the me, we first need to acknowledge it's there so we can do something about it. But that's not what this meeting is.
What meeting?
I suppose you're right. Yeah. There isn't a meeting.
Yeah, this is just a happening that's also a non-happening, apparently appearing and not happening at the same time. But it seems to be happening to a non-happening happening that thinks it's really happening. And it's just what's happening. It's just an illusion, thinking that it can get out of the illusion by asking illusory questions about the illusion to dispel the illusion. But it can't dispel the illusion because the illusion cannot be dispelled because the illusion is to make everything feel real and not an illusion. That's why it's called an illusion.
Yeah.
When it's actually just nothing happening or emptiness. It's all empty. It's all empty.
I think the other problem is I really think there's someone there who can help me, who can do something to
See, did you
help
just
me.
catch that? So the story is trying to make this story real so that it can claim that the story is really real. So it tries to involve when it's being completely honest here that there's no one here. And it tries to make it real. The belief that I am real, then you must be real. So you're projecting your belief to something that's just really empty.
Yeah. And also, not just I'm real, therefore you're real, but I need something, so you must have it.
Yeah, again, you're just trying to, create this narrative that this narrative is real, then that narrative must be real as well. But a narrative is a narrative, meaning it's not really happening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Petra.
It's obvious there's no one there. Then seemingly teaching happens, and then there's a teacher and a student. Bah!
Bah.
Which is an illusion, yeah.
Yeah, it's an illusion. This character was a teacher before, and it sees a vast difference. A vast. It's like a different everything, because there's nothing that is being offered here anymore. It doesn't need to convince anyone. It's passionate about this communication, and it expresses it with such passion, because what's really obvious is that there's no one choosing to speak about this or not. So this is just happening. There was no intention to be a speaker, or even if there was an intention to be a speaker, it's just what's happening. But in the story of this character, it was avoiding actually being a speaker. There was this clarity here that was so intense that it was not matching with the words. So again, all words are illusory, everything that's coming up. And there's no Petra there. Thank you so much for the share earlier. And did you talk to your brother? Your brother, and you basically
Yeah.
did he commit
He
you to a
was again
hospital?
asking me for that pill. At least half of those pills.
I want what you're having is what your brother said, right? What did you tell him again? You said that there's no one here.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No. I was referring. I was teaching this afternoon, and so when
Oh, okay.
soon I was okay. Yeah, and I mean, there was seemingly expectation that I teach someone, and in that moment,
It's
I
blurred,
was
right?
trapped.
It's blurred. There's no more student, and there's no more teachers just happening. It's so trippy.
Yeah. But in that, okay, there's no past, no future, but it seemed as I was real and the student was real and there was expectation and wow,
Yeah, of
it's so
course.
strong.
It is strong. Yeah, it is. It's kind of like when it's kind of funny when you drink strong coffee, it's strong. It's not going to be like, oh, it tastes like nothing because I am nothing now. It's still going to be what it is because it's the if there is seemingly this student kind of like thing or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's going to appear. Expectations still appear, but it's we try to put words into the wordless. Everything that's happening actually is wordless. It doesn't really have meaning or purpose. The me app, or the idea that I am here, makes everything into purpose and meaning and definition. So the me is kind of like the app that separates everything that's whole. There's nothing wrong or right about that. That's why there's this experiencing of time and space, because there's this lens, or there's this veil to make everything separate. When it's seen that that app is not working against you, it's just seeing separateness, wholeness, seeing separateness. then everything is already free. All ideas are free. All the feelings are free. All the confusions are free. All the words are free. Everything is free. There's nothing that's never been free, because not free is just the illusion. It's free. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay. Bertrand. Hey, Bertrand.
Hi.
You're
Yeah.
back.
I'm back. Yeah. I was wondering if it's also a little bit like what you call it? Moving away from everything that you're not.
That just makes things real, doesn't it? It's trying to reinstate that I'm real, so I'm going to move away to what I'm not. You're not, and you're not you.
I don't know.
It's just another idea of what you are that you are not, right? Again, this is really tricky because, the idea of me or no me are both ideas. There's no me and there's no me. Everything is instantly appearing all at once. And no one will know that because the one that perceives it understands in before and after, and now and then. There's always a comparison happening. The app can't be turned off, but when you see that it's just an app, then your idea of me or no me dissolves because the one that's having the idea is Oyvind goes, who's Naomi? Your future wife, Oyvind. Just joking.
Oh no.
There's no one. All of these names and all of these ideas are all empty. They're all emptiness. They're all emptiness parading as a party of one. So yeah, everything that even that's all emptiness. It's an illusion, but it's emptiness. It's almost like everything is backwards, but it's not really. It's just really simple. Everything is an appearance, appearing as something. So the illusion is trying to figure out the illusion by thinking of more of illusions. So everything that it thinks is illusory, so it's completely hopeless. But once it sees that it's completely hopeless and it sees that it's an illusion, there's nothing to strive for, there's nothing to long for, because everything is illusory, and the illusion that everything feels real, then the illusion is seen as an illusion, and you're like, oh, you mean to say, Emerson, that nothing's happening? And then there's the seeing that nothing's happening, and then that's the immediacy. That's when people laugh and cry and say, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And everything disappearing, even the rejection of what's being expressed, is also it. The rejection, the acceptance, the semi-rejection, the trying to think of something, the avoiding it, the accepting it is all emptiness appearing as the illusion as movement.
At this point, I'm just like, what new nonsense is he saying? It's like everything you say now sounds like absolute nonsense.
It is nonsense because the perceptor cannot perceive things that are not perceivable. What's being suggested here cannot be perceived. Because the perceiver is the illusion. So the illusion cannot perceive what's being expressed, that it's an illusion. It's getting called out. So it keeps on going back into the illusion that it is real. That, oh, I can't get this. Everything that it does is to keep on making it real. When it's just being exposed that it is not.
I don't even know, like I don't even know what you're saying is being exposed anymore. Like
the illusory one that's speaking right now is being exposed as the illusion.
the one who thinks
Yeah,
he's
everything.
doing this stuff.
Yeah, everything. But that's also emptiness appearing as an illusion simultaneously. It's
Right.
all emptiness.
Yeah. All right. Thank
All right.
you.
Message me, Bertrand. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone. Oh, there's another question here. Petra, go ahead.
No, I just look at all these apparent faces and they all look that serious. And, oh, oh, it's so hard to understand.
Yeah.
So,
Isn't it like when this is seen, right? This is like a big joke now. That's probably why your brother asked you what kind of drugs are you on, because you can't have something that you don't. You can't. It's already free, so you can't have it because it's already free. All right, I'm going to leave the room open. You guys want to chat or whatever. Thank you so much, everyone. There's a Facebook group if you guys want to chat too. It's kind of cool. I don't really, there's seemingly a lot of, it's just a story. Just kind of like, it's almost like non-duality has become a gossip thing. So this group has just postings of silly stuff. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'm not probably going to do another kind of like a pop-up because I have a free uh, non-duality retreat coming at the end of the month. If you have not signed up for that, do sign up. I think there's already 100 people. And thank you, Oyvind. Say hi to Naomi for me.
Are there any rumors about Naomi in the Facebook group?
Yeah, there is. Apparently, she left no one. See you guys. I just have to walk my dog, but I'll be back.
Thank you,
I'll stop
Emerson.
recording. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just message me if you guys want to chat.
Thank you, everyone.
bye.
Bye-bye.